Pure Sports New York, and I'm here with Derrick Take It to the Bank Webster, one of the greatest boxers in Glassboro, New Jersey. And we're here to talk to him about boxing and his big fight coming up on March 14th. Derrick, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me.
Start off, how did you get into boxing?
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. I was actually singing before boxing, and I just felt like one day I wanted to change, walk into a gym. It's kind of like one of those things. I say boxing chose me. It's been a success ever since.
And who influenced you to be like, what boxers did you maybe look up to, or did you idolize that, you know?
I've always idolized Roy Jones, and now to see such a dream become a reality that now he's like a father to me, that's who I monitor myself after. He's pretty much my protege, my mentor and advisor of the game right now.
So him being your idol and you actually getting to work with him, how was that experience?
Words wouldn't be able to define the experience that I've got from that. You know, what I've learned from him and the nights I spent with him and the conversations is something that will last a lifetime. It's nothing that can really go into words, because it's not every day that you get to meet somebody that you used to look at on TV, and now you can chill with them and, you know, talk to them on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis. So I mean, it's a very humbling experience.
And is there any other boxers that you've gotten able to work with?
Oh yeah,
in the
definitely.
ring?
Andre Ward, which he's like a big brother to me. Sergio Kovalev, John Pascal, which is also a brother to me. Bernard Hopkins. You know, I mean, the list goes on. Eddie Chambers, Yusef Mack. It goes on. But the most that sticks out to me would be Sergio Kovalev, Andre Ward, and of course Roy Jones.
And you take a little piece of each of them and put it into your style of boxing?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, I'm really trying to build a Derrick Webster for all to follow, but the experiences of boxing with the likes of Andre Ward, I mean, he had me ridiculously sharp when I came out of his camp. And like I said, just being around Roy Jones, he could take any fighter inside out and mold him. So my style is really starting to resemble him. So I would say that's who I'm like.
Now, how did you get the nickname Take It to the Bank?
Actually, I was an inexperienced amateur boxing a heavyweight out of Philadelphia, and just the combinations I throw and letting my hands go, and I did exceptionally well with him. And then I found out after the sparring session was over that he was like a 6 or 7 time national champion, and I had no experience, so that said a whole lot about my capabilities. And my trainer at the time, Wade Hennett, was just yelling it from the outside of the ring. And on the inside of it, I kept listening to it. I said, I got a ring to it. So when I got out the ring, I told him, I said, you know, that's going to be my name. I'm going to make it a household name. And I mean, since the amateurs, I've had them yelling it, Take It to the Bank. You know, it's definitely becoming a household name. It's going to be something that the world, well, a little bit more of the world to know, overseas, everything.
And I've seen that you've done some community work too. I saw a little video of you going back to your high school. How was that experience?
Oh, that's something that I always do. That's just a part of me. I do it because I remember where my struggles came from, and you know, if you can reach back at any time to help at least just one child, you know, just one person, you never know how much that goes a long way for somebody else. So I mean, we've done it all, from me going back to high schools, or any high school for that matter, doing charity events for domestic violence, for starving families, you know, anything that I could do to help. You know, that's what we do. It's not a gimmick. It's not for show. You know, sometimes I just wake up out my sleep and, you know, I'll just say, you know what, this is what I want to do, and we do it.
All right. When you're in the ring, what's your favorite punch to throw?
Left uppercut, right hook. Left uppercut, right hook.
Sit them right down after that, right?
no one has been able to stand up to my right hook. But it's just it's explosive. Sometimes I got to step back. You know what I mean? It's like a time bomb. So you know what I mean? Left uppercut, right hook, I would definitely say.
All right. And you have a match coming up on March 14th. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'll be fighting March 14th at the PA Sheet Metals Workers Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm fighting a guy named Lester Gonzalez Perez. He's a Cuban. I don't really know much about him. I don't really care to know much about him. The way I feel, can't nobody beat me on this level. And I've been trying to fight these prospects, and I can't seem to get that fight just yet. But the more and more I keep putting these boys down, they can't keep dodging me for too much longer. I know the business and the politics of boxing, so I know it's a reason why they're staying away. But my shot's coming. So all I know is that I'm ready. We working. We working extremely hard. I don't take anybody lightly, but the way I feel is though all I gotta do is to show up, and the fight's already done.
Now, why do you feel that some boxers are avoiding you? You haven't. There's for a time you weren't boxing for like a year, right?
Yeah.
And it was because there's no.
A lot of people was pulling out on me.
Why do you think that?
Why do I feel like fighters have been ducking me? Maybe these guys ain't as dumb as I think they are. I'm 6'4", a southpaw, speed, power, and I can fight in any different style. You know what I mean? So I think what it is business-wise is a threat to the ones that's invested in. Because when you lose, then your people don't get their money back. You know what I mean? And just a lot of fighters, boxing is not what it used to be, to where anybody was fighting anybody. Everybody want to get to that certain goal, so they want to pick and choose, and I ain't nobody's target. That's how I feel about it. Anybody can say whatever they want, but when you look at me fight, it's something that's a threat. But no matter whether it's the hand speed, my heart, my footwork, my team, how hard we work, something's a threat. I'm nothing to sleep on. So right now, like I said, I'm just waiting my turn. And when that card come, when my time come, I'll be ready. Definitely.
This is Anthony Rivera for Pure Sports New York here at It's On Boxing MMA Gym here with Coach Anthony. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. It's a beautiful facility you have here.
Thank you. Thank you.
How did you get into the business of boxing?
Well, for a long time, I was a long-time amateur boxer. I competed a lot as an amateur. I always had love for the sport. I had another business in the state of Florida at the time. That business kind of went down. So, I had to make a decision. What do I want to do next? What do I want to do? And, I decided, let me stay in the sport. I'm not competing anymore, but since I have such a passion for it, let me go ahead, open up a facility, pass on the craft to, children, women, and anybody who wants to learn the sport.
And have you trained, besides Derrick, have you got to train any other boxers that have made it into?
Well, I have a lot of amateur fighters. It's a privilege to work with Derrick Webster. I would say he's definitely the highest caliber fighter I've ever had an opportunity to work with. And, it's great because when I'm working with him, I'm learning as well. It's an opportunity for me to learn and improve my craft as a trainer. So, I get a chance to work with him. We do rounds upon rounds of pad work. I get to see him do a lot of things, and, it's all knowledge. So I go ahead, I pass that on to my amateur fighters. I pass that on to, other people, and, it just improves. It helps me.
Now, how do you feel when you get a new kid from the start, doesn't know how to box or anything, and then you build and you mold him into a boxer?
Well, it's a great feeling because, that's what I try to tell people. I'm not just a guy who jumps on fighters' bandwagons. I build kids from the ground up. I got kids 6 years old, 7 years old. I got 10-year-old children. I got fighters who've never learned how to throw a jab, and we went undefeated in our amateur boxing program last year. And, it just feels good that the knowledge that I'm passing on to my younger students is working, and the work speaks for itself.
Now, some questions that I asked Derrick, I'm going to ask you. Who's the boxer that you looked up to when you were growing up?
Well, I grew up watching Felix Trinidad. He's a Puerto Rican fighter like myself, and he was somebody who really made me put on a pair of boxing gloves. But once I really learned the sport and really learned what boxing really was, I looked up to guys like Roy Jones Jr. I looked up to guys like Floyd Mayweather Jr. I became a real fan, Bernard Hopkins, guys who really had technical skill. Felix Trinidad kind of made me a fan of the sport and made me want to box. He inspired me, but then once I learned that there was more than just throwing power shots, I started leaning over toward the fighters who had a lot of technical boxing ability.
All right, you have to pick two boxers, super fight that you would promote, that you would want to see. Who would those two be?
I would love to see, if I had a dream match, Sugar Ray Leonard versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. I would really like to see who would win that, because you got a guy like Sugar Ray who was fast on his feet through various combinations, and then you got a guy like Floyd Mayweather with incredible defense, and he seems to be unbeatable as of right now. And I would love to see how he matched up with Sugar Ray. If I had to pick the winner, I think I'd pick Sugar Ray in that one.
Sugar Ray beats the money team.
I think so. I think the hand speed, I think the punch output, I think he was a bit of a tougher guy. He was willing to go into the trenches a little bit more. And, I think he was a little faster. So, in my opinion, I think Sugar Ray beats Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Now, what do you think of Floyd's next opponent? Think he has a shot?
I mean, anybody has a chance in the sport of boxing. You know how that goes. It only takes one shot to change things. But honestly, I would like to see him fight a little stiffer competition than the guy he chose. But hey, who am I to speak? And I'll be tuning in. I'll be watching anyway.
Now, tell us a little bit more about your gym and what you have to offer here.
Well, we have programs for everybody. As you can see, we got professional fighters here. But we also have females here. We have children. We got beginners. We got amateur competitive boxers. So this is a one-stop shop. We also have mixed martial arts, which is the fastest growing sport. And, we have kickboxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I got two of the best instructors that you could find in those disciplines. So, basically what we have here, this is just a place for the general fitness client, the guy who wants to learn MMA, the guy who wants to train around a great pro, the guy who just wants to work out. This is just a one-stop shop, put it that way.
All right, and can you tell us where, if anyone else wants to come in?
Yeah,
give us a little plug.
We are located in 1060 Chester Avenue, Delran, New Jersey. We are minutes from Philadelphia. We're in the South New Jersey area. And, if you're in the area, if you ever just want to come on in, stop on by, you're more than welcome. Everybody's welcome. And you never know, you might bump into a great pro here one day and get to watch him train.
All right, Coach Anthony, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right. That is it here from It's On Boxing MMA. I'm Anthony Rivera, and that is Pure Sports, New York.
Half amazing. Dangerous. Best southpaw in the game. The best.